episode 5 of Drawing Inner Strength. Today's good news is that museums are having a battle over which exhibit has the best butt, and the hashtag is Best Museum Bums. Check it out, I'll put it in the description too, but that just kind of made my day. So it can only, I beat that. Butts and its art, two of the best things on earth. So today I'm going to be adding stipples into the hair, and that's probably gonna be the whole video, unless disclaimer, I might get hand cramp, or I might need to break up the monotony and switch to something else, but my plan for right now, my focus is going to be stippling all this hair. It's gonna be amazing. I dropped my pen cap. One reason that I really like to do stipples so I'm using the stipple process for the hair rather than just continuing with the swirly lines or just doing straight, is because the subject, like myself, has thick, wavy hair, and I really think that stipple does the best job showing that kind of texture. And I also just really love bringing representation and celebrating the beauty of that type of hair. Let's zoom. It's kind of hard to tell when there's so few of them, but I just think that of all the different processes, the stipple is it's just my favorite way to do this. I also, of all the different shading techniques that I've learned, I enjoy the stipple the most, and I feel like it's just the most fascinating way to show depth and light and dark. It's so simple, just lighter, further apart dots where you want it to look light, and closer, heavier dots where you want it to look dark. I feel like I just have such a strong memory of learning this process in my must have been 10th or 11th grade art class, and I was so fascinated and enamored with the thought of just using dots to draw an entire picture. And now I haven't done that here because I'm not using stipples for everything, just for the shading. But ever since then, stipples are kind of my favorite go-to. And that's the background on why I use stipples so much. Okay, so what I've been doing is using darker, more condensed dots and further apart lighter dots to kind of create a highlight, a flow, if you know what I mean. In the places where it's darker, those are places where there's more shadow because it's curling downward. And then in the places where it's kind of curling upward, that's where the light is hitting it, and that's where the hair is. It gives that texture that I'm going for, and it's definitely taking a lot of time, but I just never stop loving the way that it looks when I step back from it. It's honestly, I think it's so cool, and it's weird because I do this all the time, but even just stepping back right now, I'm like, wow, this looks pretty cool. So I'm going into day 2 of stippling the hair now, feeling pretty excited and a little nervous, honestly, about how much longer this will take. Not because I don't like doing it, but because I want to make this all one video. Okay, since the theme of the day, once again, is stipples, I was thinking about how I don't see stipples a lot in like my Instagram feed, and when I was taking art classes, most people weren't as excited about it as I am, probably because they found it exhausting. So I went on YouTube and I just searched stipples, and I was kind of surprised to see that the top videos, besides like tutorials, which of course I expected, the top videos were these like gorgeous, like hyper-realistic drawings using stipples of like, you know, various people, celebrities, whatever. And they were beautiful, but I guess I was almost a little disappointed, and I feel like that can come off as mean, but it's honest. I was kind of disappointed not to see more stylistic stippling, like more abstract or just like not realistic illustration. And I know, I guess it can be a little discouraging kind of seeing that the demand seems to be for work that looks so real that it could be a photograph, because to me, I've always felt like art can be anything you want it to be. Why would you make it look exactly like real life? And I like my work to look close to real. Like, I went through pains to get these proportions right and to get the eyes in the right place, and you know, I used myself and lots of other reference photos, or I use myself in lots of other reference photos in my work to make sure that, you know, it's recognizable as a person. But I still don't feel as inspired to make work that just looks exactly like what I'm looking at. Like, I think it's a great way to practice, and I'm impressed by it. Like, I like to look at it, but I don't like to make it. And it kind of sucks because sometimes I feel like the first criticisms I would get are like, oh, that doesn't look exactly like that. Or like when people ask like, oh, who are you drawing? I'm like, oh, well, no one, you know. I feel like I'm kind of in this in between where it's not abstract, but it's not quite realism, and I'm fine with that. Like, it used to really bother me, and I used to try to lean one way or the other. Like, I used to try to let me zoom in. You don't want to look at my back this whole time. I used to really try to just make my style fit into one of those two categories. And I'm only just in the past like year or two getting comfortable with just letting my art be whatever it wants to be. And that kind of goes back to what I was talking about in my past video. I don't remember if it was the second video or what, but where I was talking about being hesitant to mix ink and graphite, being worried that I don't see a lot of work that does that and that it's breaking some sort of rule. And then I decided I don't care. And it's kind of funny that it took me that long to get that comfortable. But I'm really glad that that's where I am now. It's funny because, like, honestly, as I'm talking about that, I'm like, Alison, literally, like, no one cares. Like, no one cares about your artistic journey. I still think it's worth talking about because I don't really ever hear anyone talk about it. And it's like stuff that I wish people had told me, like, when I was getting my degree, or at any point, like, when I was kind of finding my style. It just, like, never came up. It was kind of like, just pick one, just figure it out. And, like, finding your artistic style is really hard because no one can tell you what it is. You have to tell you. Ugh, it's crazy. an effort to do that I think probably other artists do is I'm not super concerned with each dot being like the same exact size, and I'm not like too worried if some of them overlap. I think some people are very, very precise with the way that they do that, and I've experimented with that. Like I've experimented with getting the dots in like a perfectly straight line, and I did not like the way it looked. Like I thought it looked too much, like too mechanical. Just wasn't a vibe. So, just in case you were thinking by some chance that like each one has a special place, it really doesn't. I just pick it up. And then move on to the next one. So normally when I speed up my drawings, I speed them up 1,000% or whatever it is in the editor. And I'm definitely gonna have to speed these stipples up way more to not have like an hour-long video. So my guess is that I'll make it 4,000%, and that should keep this like in the realm of, 15 to 30 minutes. I'll let you guys know in the description how fast it is, because I'm really curious like how much I'm gonna have to speed this up to fit it into one video. And if anyone is still watching and they guess the percent, well, that doesn't make sense because it'll be in the description. Never mind. Well, I'll let you know if I'm right or not. I'll let you know if it was 4,000% or not. And 4,000, that might even be conservative. I could see it being closer to 6,000 or 7,000, or even like I could even see it going over 9,000. What do you think, Vegeta? Alright, so I keep it real on this channel. That's my goal, is to just be as upfront as possible. And I have done as much as I can do at once for this. I don't want to burn myself out on it. So I'm feeling good about it. I've got about 1/3 of the way through the hair in a few hours. And I'm really thinking that I'm going to take a break, start fresh tomorrow, or maybe even later today, but this is as much as I'm gonna do for this video. So, let me know what you think. Are you disappointed that I didn't finish it? Would you have wanted to see all of this get done in one video, or are you cool with it being in 2 parts? It's gonna be in 2 parts regardless, but I'm interested in if that's disappointing or not. But yeah, I just wanted to be realistic, and it's more enjoyable if I'm not trying to kill myself, do it all like in one video. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please just leave a like and comment what your thoughts are, and I will see you in the next